Good day, grade 9 students. I'm Ms. Ndlazi and welcome to yet another creative arts lesson. Today we will be focusing on Unit 2, which is Interpretation and Presentation of Poetry, which I published on Google Classroom on the 15th of April. This should already be in your exercise books. Interpretation and presentation of poetry forms part of drama because in drama you present. You recite in front of an audience, and that is exactly what you do in poetry. Now, the key terms that we will be focusing on today, the first one is a narrative poem. Please excuse this, I was just making sure that this will look fine. A narrative poem is a poem that tells us a story. The word narrative is derived from the word narrate, which means to tell a story. I want you to write this in your exercise books, please. A praise poem is a traditional poem that praises a certain individual or group. It is a very active poem that involves a great deal of movement of volume. Some of you, those who were in my class last year, may have done this before. Usually, this is actually quite traditional, especially in South Africa. During a wedding or a funeral service, a family member may be chosen to recite a poem for the person who's getting married or being buried. That poem is called praise poem because they are praising the individual. They usually make reference to their character, so they'll say how kind they are, they'll say how strong they are, how fond of people they are, and so on and so forth. And sometimes it's actually the uncle's place to recite this type of poem. Now, what I want you to do is to highlight praises a certain individual, involves great deal of movement. All right. A lyric poem is a descriptive poem that expresses a feeling. Okay, I want you to highlight expresses a feeling. Consonants. These are sounds that are stopped in the mouth by an organ of speech. Consonants are not vowels, for example, P, B, T, D. Now, consonants, this is something you should have learned in your English class. These are any of the letters in the alphabet that are not vowels, basically. It's actually written there for us. We should highlight not vowels. Sorry, I'm not holding my highlighter properly. These are not vowels. Okay, so it's any letter of the alphabet. These are just examples. All right, enjambed line. This is a line found in poetry only, where the sense of the one line flows into the next. Enjambment means a continuation. Okay. So basically, this is a continuation of one line into the next. All right. So let's say, for example, we're expressing how sad we are about a certain thing. If one line flows into the next, that is referred to as a enjambed line. A suspensive pause is a slight rise of the voice at the end of an enjambed line when no breath is taken. The most important thing is that no breath is taken. So there isn't necessarily a pause. Okay. Alliteration. This also makes reference to your English lessons. This is the use of several consonants together. For example, the tick-tock timing or the snake slid smoothly. I want you to highlight the T in tick, T in tock, and T in timing. Or the S in snake, S in slid, and S in smoothly. The last key term for today is assonance, which is a repetition of vowel sounds to create mood. For example, the low, moan, and drone. Okay, here, I want you to actually circle consonants. And we're going to circle vowels. Okay, Then we can also circle the vowels that are found in these words. Sorry, my highlighter is not sitting properly. Drone. Okay. All right, that is it for today's lesson. I trust that you will understand everything that I have explained to you. If there's any question, please feel free to share your question on Google Classroom, and I will definitely get back to you in your questions. All right, please stay safe and stay home.